All right. Today is March 4th. Going over a trade I took this morning on gold. Took two trades actually. One was a loss and one was a win. Just gonna go over my analysis on how I took the trade. So going on to mark to my high day and low of the day. I know on my H4 time frame that we're in a very bearish trend here. So going into this morning, if I use the replay, woke up. I got to the chart around like 5:45. Yeah, around here is when I got to my desk. So first thing I notice is that I know that I'm in a bearish trend here on H4. I know there is some demand going on here, and first thing when I saw is that Asian session we had some resistance here, and that it was actually broken coming into Frankfurt session right before London started. So first thing I noticed is that we have this break here, and some support was created right here. Let me actually just draw an arrow right here. So I know once we broke above our resistance, first thing I asked myself is going to get a retest and follow through, or am I just going to overshoot here? So once we get this break, we immediately retest and try to follow through. But I do see here that we actually cannot follow through completely. Instead, after our first support was created, after we broke the resistance here, it was actually demolished here by these candles, these bearish candles. So that tells me that once price finally, even on my H1 time frame, we can see that we broke above the resistance, retest, tried to follow through by this candle here, but created this giant wick. But price cannot follow through. Instead, we broke this little 1-2 candle support here. We broke below. Even on the M30, we can see created support. Try to follow through, but that support that was created was broken through. So that initially tells me that when I first saw that this morning, that okay, price tried to follow through, but it could not. So this tells me that we still have bearish momentum in the market. Even if there is some kind of demand created right here, there's the sellers are still in play. So that tells me immediately that I'm gonna try to look for a sell opportunity. So when I'm at my desk around 5:50 this morning, right before pre-New York started, I know that on my 10-minute time frame, actually 5-minute, what I pointed out is okay. Here's the break between my Frankfurt and London session. That we do have some London supply. So if I play it here, I'm watching the market here in pre-New York, see what it wants to do. I'm not really so worried about this zone that's created right here, mainly because this wick touched all the way up here into this supply. So I know that this is probably the best price I want to sell from, not just in the middle here. So if I let it play out, I can see that price did break through it, but we do have some liquidity up here, so supply up in Frankfurt, and that's when I actually drew my zone up here, because again I know that price broke above my resistance in Asia session, broke but could not follow through, broke the support right here, so I know I'm going to look for a sell here. So once we got to some liquidity up here, I ended up taking a sell. I delete the zone. Ended up taking a sell right on this double top actually. So we have the first top created right here, the second one created right here. This is where I took my trade. This double top. Let me actually make it visible. I took the trade here because again I know that price cannot follow through beyond this high point, and it created this bearish engulfing. So I took the trade here. Let me actually just paint like a little thing. My stop went above the head, and I was targeting. I think I was just targeting. My first point was right here, that the low so far that we have in pre-New York. So if I actually play it see that I actually did get stopped out here. So after this happened, even though I was targeting the low that pre-New York created at the moment, because we're still in pre-New York, we got stopped out. I got stopped out here for about 20 pips. Once I hit this loss, what I immediately did not want to do is try to jump back in a trade, because even though price traded above this zone here created in the Frankfurt session, it broke above but did not stay above it, and we actually traded below it. I wasn't trying to look for a sell, because at this point I hit my stop loss, still following my trading rules. What I actually did was I just exited out of the browser. Just told myself, I'm gonna come back the next session during New York session and reanalyze the market and see what the market's doing to maybe possibly get into New York session. So I closed the browser, came back around 9 a.m. During and we could see that even after I hit my stop loss, it was just a big overshoot, big fake out, and still was trading what was initially my entry, still trading below it to be in profit. But again, I closed the browser. Did not want a revenge trade. Just part of my psychological rules. Just wanted to come back into the next session. So I'm taking all this out. I'm back here in. Came back during a New York session, and let's see what happened here. How did I get? Okay, so what I did was went down to my M5 time frame, found kind of tightened my zone a little bit, because I know I have this huge wick created here, which actually closed out my position in pre-New York. So when I came back to the chart, I know that I'm still looking for sells here, because I still know that my bearish momentum is still in play. So my M5 time frame, have this zone marked in Frankfurt, because I'm not going to create my zone way up here. That's just too much for me. I'm just going to tighten the zone that was created up here. So when I come back, I wanted to wait till price came and touched this area. I didn't get in a buy down here. Obviously, I could have gotten into a buy during London. Well, really, I only enter on the lows of London, so which would have been down here. But price didn't even touch that, so I wouldn't even haven't gotten into this buy. Plus, besides, I'm still looking for sells at this point. So if I play it, price actually eventually did come up and touch my zone up here that was created. At this point, I'm in a new session. Forget about the last trade. So once I'm in the zone, I'm going to look for a pattern that I like to see that's going to get me back into the market. So actually right here was when I entered. So I could see that I have a high created right here, printed a new low, tried to go higher, gave me a small retrace, broke above it, but actually had this pretty much double top / overshoot that I entered back in, because I know I'm at a session high, which is Frankfurt at this time. So I entered at this what I call double top / overshoot. Price tried to go higher, created a huge wick, and then created a giant bearish engulfing. So I entered right at this engulfing candle. Stop went above the high for about 28 pips. I want to leave a little bit of room, and I ended up targeting. I targeted the New York low at the moment here. Demand that was created in New York. So if I play it out here, price actually did start to go down towards my target. While this is all going on, I am watching to see if price maintains all of my ceilings created here. I wasn't too worried about this huge retrace that broke multiple ceilings. I know that even on my M5, I think it was M5. M5. I still have this resistance level up here. That's even if price wanted to break above this resistance level, then I'll start managing my trade. But at this time, I'm just watching the market. We did get a huge bearish candle there. Again, price is still maintaining my ceilings at the moment. And then price actually did hit my profit target. I did not close out of the market. I wanted the market to give me a reason to get out of my trade. So I'm still maintaining the trade. The price actually came all the way down here below my H4, lowest point of H4, which is right here, which I actually have marked as my low of the day. I got out of the market somewhere around here. I think price, yeah, I tried to go below my low of the day. I was on the M1 time frame watching what price was doing. So I know that once price gives me some kind of reason to get out of the trade, I got out of the trade. And I believe it was right around, yeah, right at this candle. So I know I had a ceiling right here. So my price was maintaining the ceilings. Once I had this resistance right here. Once this candle printed right above my resistance, I just closed out of the trade because I know I was way below my profit target at this point. All of this, I mean, I really try to target 1 to 3, which is already smashed, but I know I'm below my goal for the day. So at this point, this is all just extra cash, extra pips. So I wasn't too worried. Even if price could have given me an overshoot here, or was just retesting this demand up here just to go further, I'm not too worried about it. I just closed right after this entry. Even if I keep going, I believe that price did go below, and yeah, it did go a little bit further than where I closed out, which is fine. But I think at this time I was out and about doing some errands, and I saw this print while I was out, and I just closed out of my trades. But yeah, those are my trades for the day. Took one loss, but had an even bigger win, which is what truly matters. I think I closed at like a 1 to 6, which isn't too bad. But yeah, those are my trades today on March 4th. We'll see about next trades that I take.